All right, Mike, where are we?
We're getting kidnapped is what was happening right now.
So clickbait on this one, TOMMYFYEAH kidnapped me and Mike Devine over here. So we're currently in the back of a utility van on a futon heading to New Jersey.
Yep. To pick up what?
We're going to pick up our new drivetrains for our cars for this build off, whatever. So me and Tommy are heading down to a JDM engine depot importer in New Jersey where they have motors from Japan come in, you know, here and there. Yeah. And we're gonna steal 2 motors and
give me the aux.
Hey,
hurry up, we're at a fucking light, dipshit. That was that one, dipshit.
So yeah, this is happening. Who do you think's gonna win the build off?
We're gonna have to wait and see. I don't know.
So I found a ratchet strap and I made a hammock. Check this out.
I think we're still accelerating.
There it is. There it is.
Living the dream.
This man. So I guess we're here. We're at JDM Engine Depot, I think.
Jersey.
In Jersey. So I'm using a different camera today, as you can tell. Mike is letting me borrow his extra camera.
Yes.
Because I forgot my batteries. So it's gonna be weird because it's different, but it's a good experience.
Hey y'all!
So we're gonna do some double vlogging today. So sorry guys for the repeat footage. But
Just don't show my engine because it's so different.
JDM Engine Depot. Here we are. I'm excited, dude. This is always so fun.
Oh, I want those.
What, the HXs?
Oh my god.
Hey, how much for this front end?
Mix of everything. We got some 1Js right here. VTI, non-VTI. VQs. More 1Js. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I just saw a 3-inch GT and made me miss my all-track Celica.
So I think we picked out our 2 motors.
Really dumb. Yeah.
It's insane. Alright, so me and Tommy found 2 black tops in here and we kind of flipped a coin to see who got which one. This one's slightly cleaner and I won, so I'm getting it. Alright, so I guess it's pretty apparent I'm going SR. Didn't really do much build up for. We kind of just ran in here and picked some motors out. But this place is sick. It's bigger than places we went to in Orlando. They have a lot more motors. They got a little bit of everything. There's a lot of 2Js here and a lot of 1Js, which is pretty sick. I know a lot of you guys were probably anticipating I would get this motor, but or this motor, but it's not happening. I'll go a little bit more in depth on why I'm using an SR later. I know some of you guys are probably already freaking out in the comments right now, but we'll get to you. So try to hold your comments off until the end so you guys hear what I have to say. We're on our way out now. We gotta load up the SRs. This place is sick. I want one of everything. Just imagine what this went through in its lifetime. Coming off the line, being owned by a family for a few years, and like a 20-year-old dude buys it, spray paints everything purple and chops it off, and now it's in New Jersey. So every motor here essentially gets ripped out of a car. Hey, wait. Gets ripped out of a car in Japan, put it in a giant freaking container and shipped over the seas, stacked on shelves, and it's sold to people like us. It's pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I apologize on Tommy's channel and my channel for getting the double content, but for these things you gotta get it. One SR.
Fine.
Cabbage. Don, look at an S14 SR. That's all you, homie. Alright, so this is our trip home right now. We got the 2 SRs loaded up. We are done. Just gonna start our journey back to CT, about 2.5 hours. So that's it. So JDM Engine Depot, New Jersey, it's been real. Thank you for having us. I'm excited to get started.
Mike, you're back there, right? Okay, perfect.
Update, we're about 20 minutes out. I'm about to piss my pants, but we're almost back.
Almost. Starting to get tired.
It's very like drowsy here. Look at it. I don't know the lighting. Look at it. It's so dim.
Dark and depressing.
We're back with our beautiful SRs. I think Steph is gonna head up here later tonight to pick me up with a truck. So we're gonna do that, grab this, and we're getting down to the shop. I'm excited. This is really cool. But I know it's really dark out. I'm sorry guys. The low light on this camera is actually pretty good, but I'm really excited to tear this down, check it out, and make sure everything's all set. These motors are somewhat of a mystery. They say they test them over there and they say they're good, but you never know. Stupid little things on this motor are expensive. The crank or the cam angle sensor right here was actually broken on mine, so they actually gave me a new one from another SR that was there, or not new, but new to the motor, which is good. Has the SR, comes with the ECU, full wire harness. It's a little chopped up in some places, but I really want to try and reuse it. I think that'd be really cool. I might just retape the whole thing, but if we could reuse it and I can make this work for the Z chassis, I think that's really badass, and it'd save me a lot of money, which is, you know, really important at this point. Okay, so I have to hang out here for a few hours. I'm not complaining. I love Mike, but I got dropped off here, and Steffi's going to pick me up with a truck in a couple hours. So I figured right now was a perfect time to explain to you guys why I chose an SR20 DET for my Z32 300ZX Fairlady Z. Okay, so I guess let's get started. Okay, we're gonna sit down for this one. I've owned a Z for about 3-4 years now, and I've generally always wanted to put an SR20 in a Z. It's kind of just been like this weird, I don't know if it's weird, but this like thing that I've wanted to do. I love SRs. I think they're great motors. It's a cool motor, I guess. I don't know.
They're good looking motors.
They're good looking motors. They perform well. People who don't have SRs think they're junk motors, but most people I know that have an SR love it, and they're all for them. So there's that. Not a lot of people have done the swap generally. There has been there's been a decent amount of people that've done it. I mean, every swap has been done multiple times, but on the retrospect of swaps done on a car, it's on a very minimal amount, so you don't see them too often. And I've always been curious about it. I've always wanted to see it done, so I have the opportunity. Why not do it myself? There it is.
Makes sense.
A big complaint with people is, oh, you're only gaining about 50 horsepower, and it's such a heavy chassis. Why do it? Yes, the Z32 chassis is a heavy chassis in itself compared to like a 240 chassis, but a lot of the weight honestly comes from the motor itself. So the VG is an iron block V6. It's a big freaking motor. If you watch the video from yesterday, then you'd see it's a big motor. That's iron. It's a lot of iron. Iron's heavy.
It is.
It's a heavy.
It is very heavy.
It's a very heavy. But with SRs, they're 4-cylinder aluminum blocks. They're very light motors in comparison, so you lose so much weight putting an SR in there. On forums, if people have already done it, I've seen someone with full interior speakers, everything, and the car only weighs about 2,800 pounds, which is considerably light.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
No.
So the weight thing, we're pushing that out the window. In terms of power upgrade, say a NA300ZX comes from the factory. It says, I think, 220 horsepower. You probably put on a dyno, it's probably about 185 horsepower with a fresh oil change. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
An SR20, you could safely push about 280 horsepower out of basically stock everything, given that's like the border of it. We put a new turbo on, we put a head gasket, it had studs, and we could easily push about 300, like low 300 horsepower reliably. That's a lot of power for a 2,800 pound chassis.
Yeah.
In terms of what I want to do for it. Everyone thinks, you gotta have 500 horsepower, but that is not necessary at all. I have my SR tuned down pretty decently in my S13, and it rips, and I enjoy it. So power, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
SR surprisingly makes a lot of sense. So weight, power, that's all taken care of. No complaints on that. Now, budget-wise, I could have picked a lot of other motors for this, but the cheapest option, honestly, besides doing something to the stock motor, is honestly an SR20. Engine swaps are a lot more money than a lot of people think. A lot of people think that you buy the drivetrain itself, and it's like, oh, there you go, there's your whole cost. I mean, 2Js are cheap, 1Js are cheap, the trainings are a little expensive, but you're going to need $5,000, $7,000 on top of that just to make it fit in there. Mm-hmm. With an SR20, you can kind of make it work where you only have to spend about $2,000 to $3,000 on top of the engine, even cheaper if you do it cheap like how I plan on doing it, which in retrospect for an engine swap is very cheap. So budget-wise, SR20 is by far the best option, especially since I personally am on a very tight budget. I think this is perfect. Also, really nice about the SR and the Z is it's such a tiny motor, and the engine bay is so big. It's gonna be such a pleasure to work on. A lot of guys that own Zs know it's absolutely miserable to work in the engine bay. It's so tight. There's no room. It's a pain in the ass. With the SR, it's gonna be so open exposed. Working on it, maintaining, upgrading, it's gonna be such an easy task now with all this room. It's gonna be fantastic.
It's gonna look good in there too, with it being a smaller motor and having so much room.
Exactly. It's gonna look sick. So I think honestly I covered most of it. I rambled a lot of it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But when it comes down to it, it's a good, cheap, powerful option for what it is. I'm not trying to make this a drag car or anything. So I think for what I want to do with the car, it's the perfect option. And when it comes down to it, I've just always wanted to do it, see it personally, and it's my car, and I get to do what I want.
Yo, I'll let you know.
Rod knock is finally here 3 hours later.
Hey, it was 1.5.
So somehow we're in this predicament. I don't know what we're doing. We gotta load the SR up soon, but we're chilling. We have to transfer the engines between Tommy's truck and the truck we're using. We don't have a crane, but we have a lot of people, so SR's really light.
My outside.
Oh fuck, the truck lowered so much.
I grabbed the wrong spot.
We gotta strap her down. We should be all set. It's not going anywhere, hopefully.
We'll find out.
Sick. Tommy, when I wasn't looking, changed the oil cap. He gave me a broken one. He had the broken one. Mr. F, yeah. Alright, it's a little rainy out, so I decided to wrap the whole engine. Luckily, Rod Knock had some wrap. But we're all set. I was gonna unload this tonight, but I'm feeling like crap, so we're gonna do it tomorrow morning. I'm excited to go through it. What a day. So what happened today?
All right, so Jimmy got here, got an Enterprise van, loaded it with a futon, went to New Jersey, got a new motor, came back, we've been chilling a little bit. It's been fun.
It's been fun.
It's been fun.
So,
I'm tired.
Mike's really tired. We're both tired. I'm disgustingly sick. I'm very sick. My eyes are watering. I'm sick. But okay, now you can end it.
Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one, guys. See you later.